Brilliant speed with vibrant service, vibrant broadband internet.
It is that time when we bring in our professors for Vibrant You. Professor Nathan, Professor Shane, and Jane. How you doing, guys?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Good.
Thanks for having us on Vibrant You Live. I'm Shane.
I'm Jane.
And I'm Bo.
I've got a couple of Did You Knows to start this
I
out
said
with.
Nathan before.
Oh, that's
Did
right.
you
He's
know?
usually on the
Nathan's usually
professor
on.
team.
He's busy
He's on
today.
sabbatical, so.
I'm pitch hitting for him today.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Should be good.
I think you're probably going to do a way better job on this topic.
Yeah.
Well, maybe on this topic because I know Nathan's not a vegetable eater, so
Yeah.
yeah.
He's trying.
Potatoes.
So this is kind of like how to tech up your yard and garden. But did you know that around 1500 BC, the first decorative gardens appeared in Egypt? Before that, gardens were strictly practical for growing food or medicinal plants. Also, did you know that tomatoes were once called wolf peaches?
I had no idea.
Wolf peaches.
Wow.
Yeah. I know.
I definitely want to eat something with that name.
Yeah.
So these are the kinds of things you can find out online. And so that's what this topic is about, is kind of teching up your yard and garden. So the common German name for tomatoes translates literally to wolf peach. German folklore claims that witches used plants like mandrake and nightshade to summon werewolves, a practice known as lycanthropy. I hope I pronounced that right.
I think that sounds right.
Okay. Tomatoes resemble those poisonous plants and were thought to be poisonous as well. Because of this, wolf peaches were universally avoided. But there are 10,000 known varieties of tomatoes. You can go online and research this, and you might find this an interesting rabbit hole to explore. And Jane, you grow a lot of tomatoes.
I do. I grow a lot of variety of tomatoes. So I have a specific. I get my tomatoes from a specific person, and every year I get a pamphlet on all of the tomatoes, and so that's like that's the favorite day coming into spring, because then I know it's close.
Sure.
And so I'll sit down and read. There's about a paragraph on every type of tomato, so then I'll check out what I need it for and see if it works for my garden. And so,
Sure.
and then Don at work is another gardener, and so we start talking about tomatoes.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Yep, good stuff. So April showers bring May flowers. Hopefully that's the case.
We've got
It's
had a
not.
lot of April showers.
Yeah, we
Yes.
have.
And Steve, I heard you talking about May Day today, so it's officially May Day.
It is.
I didn't bring you a basket, however.
Oh. You know what? I've never seen one.
You've never seen one, really?
No.
Never
No.
seen
Well,
May Day.
they put, so our neighbor, they would put little basket on our, and then ring the doorbell and then leave. So you didn't really know it was from, you didn't know who it was from. So good stuff.
Well, you got one from the same neighbor every year, so you kind of knew.
Yeah. And then our kids spilled the beans. So yeah. So I've lived in several areas of Minnesota, and when you grow flowers and plants and different things, you really need to know what variety of plant you can grow and keep alive over our crazy winters. And so there's a great USDA website. It's called Hardiness Zone Map, and all the gardeners, I'm sure, know about that. And so basically, you go on that website. The state of Minnesota is there, and then there's certain colors, and the colors, there's a legend that tells you what zone you're in. So Meeker County is in USDA 4B for hardiness, and if you grow anything other than that, chances are your plant is going to die over the winter. So popular plants for us that stay are daylilies and peonies. One of my favorite is the Memorial Day peony. They're so beautiful, and they come up right around Memorial Day. So
Yeah.
I don't know the exact name of them, but that's what I call them. And then rhubarb. So a couple of tricks on rhubarb. So everybody loves rhubarb. We were talking about this earlier. So we make strawberry rhubarb jam, strawberry rhubarb pie, and then
Oh, I love the dessert with a meringue on it. Oh, that
Yep.
rhubarb dessert.
and then I make a rhubarb bar that Mary can't get enough of at work. So
I think there was one point where there was like 4 different rhubarb desserts in the span of 1 week, and I was like, it was the best week ever.
yes. So to kind of keep it alive, that first crop of rhubarb is amazing. And then if it starts to flower, cut it off, because then you'll get more rhubarb as you go.
As we were researching the subject, I came across a 5-minute video that somebody explained how you can grow potatoes in a 5-gallon bucket. And I'm going to try that.
I saw that same video.
Yeah.
I know. I don't have a green thumb, but I have some buckets.
You
I
got a
could probably
bucket and some
try.
You might be the bucket gardener
I
guy.
might be
Yeah.
the bucket guy.
Pretty
Your guy
good.
and the bucket guy.
Yeah.
The other thing, potato they have the potato bugs, and people really get frustrated because they don't know how to get rid of them. And so if you grow it in your bucket, maybe you can cover it or
Yeah,
keep it
protect
away
it a
from
little
your
bit.
Mm-hmm.
keep it away from your other plants out
Yeah,
there.
and plus I live I live right in town, right?
Yeah.
I got a really small yard, so I can't really have a huge garden at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could put a couple 5-gallon buckets of potatoes next to my garage and see
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah, so I mean, whether you're like Shane and I, who that's how we would start out gardening, but Jane's been gardening for a while. You can
Right.
find so many different applications actually that can help you out, whether you're experienced or you're a beginner. So we researched some of the top gardening applications that you can put on your phone, on your iPad. So some of them we found are from Seed to Spoon Gardening, Garden Manager, Planta, Plant Snap, and then Grow by RHS. And really what they do is they give you tips on how to get started. If you're already an experienced gardener, it's more advanced tips. You can figure out how to protect your plants from pests, from bugs, figure out, depending on the weather, what you need to keep your plant alive, how much watering you're going to need. I know sometimes you'll get a plant from somebody, and if you don't have a green thumb, you have no idea how much water to give it. So if you need to look that up, these apps can be really helpful. And also for plant identification, if you're trying to figure out what you're looking at or what you want to grow, and you found something in a neighbor's yard that looks interesting to you, you can actually find a plant identification through these apps and through your camera. So obviously there's many more ways to do this, but those are some of the ways to get started.
I'm definitely going to download one of those apps because I hate to pull like what I think is a weed, and then it ends up being my carrots.
Oh, you definitely don't have a green thumb.
Right?
Okay, Shane.
Shane, if it's orange, don't grab it. Don't leave it in there.
Yeah.
So-
Stick to the spuds.
Yeah, right. The 5-gallon bucket. YouTube is another great resource for finding out a lot of things on gardening and lawn care. Some of the top websites or YouTube channels that we've come across is the Lawn Care Nut. That's one that Jane you had watched, and
I did. So this guy is, probably like in his 20s, and he is actually at his home doing this video, and he's really into it. He has a thermometer for his lawn, and he talks about it's 50 degrees in his lawn, and he can put X amount of fertilizer at this time, and this is what it's going to do. And then when you look at his yard, it looks like he is on a golf course. And then I'd really hate to be his neighbor because it's definitely keeping up with the Joneses for sure. And I mean, their lawns looked fine, but it was not the quality of this guy's. So it was really interesting, and he had some really good ideas and what to look for and what type of seed and grass to put down and when you should do it, and weed control, and to read the label of what's a good quality weed control versus like a cheap one.
I've got a neighbor that's got a meticulous lawn, and he does it really well, taking care of it. And me, I mow the weeds once a week. So it's just
With your
my
electric lawnmower.
Yep,
Yeah.
with my electric lawnmower. We'll get to that soon.
Yeah.
Brian's Lawn Maintenance is another channel that talks about tips and tricks, and they do reviews on different things. Epic Gardening.
I saw a video on that one too. This guy's really good. He talks about there's like 7 tricks to watering things. And so if you are the person that starts your seeds out, he recommended cutting your seed a little bit because water has to get in there. And by you cutting it, it allows it to grow a lot
sure.
faster than what it is.
That makes sense.
And then if you have those trays and you're doing those little seeds, don't water the tops of them, water the tray so that the water absorbs from the bottom up.
Okay.
So you don't
Interesting.
don't drown
that's
them.
kind of stuff you learn online.
Yeah.
My wife watches a YouTube channel called Homesteading with the Zimmermans, and so they have like a hobby farm. So they grow all their own food. They even have their own livestock. They'll have cows that they milk, and they use the milk that they get, that kind of thing. And so because of that, my wife's taken up canning. And so she's canned like baked beans and carrots and different things, and also making sourdough, like a sourdough starter, and then she'll make sourdough bread, and I've had sourdough pancakes actually this week. Those
Oh,
are really
wow.
good.
So you're happy that she got into this now?
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, this is the kind of the tech that you learn by using your internet connection.
Perfect. So, you had talked about me gardening basically it started when I was a little kid. My mom really enjoyed gardening, and it was something that she and I did together all summer long, and I really looked forward to that. Well, now we have a tradition at the house too. So Mother's Day weekend, my girls and I go get some flowers, and then we come back and plant it and spend the day together. And it's one of those days that you look forward to, and I'm really excited because Hannah's graduating and she'll be home, and so we get to plant the garden. I'm so excited. The other thing is you can certainly watch a lot of popular shows on Netflix, Max, or Prime. The big flower fight, I find this completely interesting. If you guys go to the state fair and you go into the agriculture or horticulture, you go in there and check it out. They have all those beautiful flowers, and they're competing florists in the area. This is very similar to that, but it's live. So you get to watch florists compete by designing huge floral arrangements. I'm really excited. I'm going to start watching that pretty quick. Cool. And then there's Homegrown, which is on Max, and this covers all things farming, adding gardening tips throughout each episode. You learn the joys of growing your own food and from the comforts of your backyard. And then Gardener's World is on Prime, and those are just practical advice, inspiring ideas, and the latest, greatest trends.
Yeah, and then if you're doing all this research online, watching YouTube videos, watching Netflix videos, and you're ready to kind of get started, you can get the tools and supplies locally. I mean, we have them at Walmart here. We have them at Runnings. You can go to Stockman's Greenhouse and Garden Center here in Litchfield, and they're going to have all the plants, seeds, trees, flowers that you need to make your garden beautiful. I know they're kind of a regular here on KLFD. So, yeah, Stockman's Greenhouse is a great place to start. And then, if you're going to need some yard tools as well, Shane is going to go into a little bit. He went down the yard tool rabbit hole a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, my first electric tool was an electric chainsaw. I bought one, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, and it was just to cut down a couple trees in my yard. And I just love the thing. And I did a lot of research online about which brand to use and that kind of thing. And I picked Ego, and our own Ace Hardware in town here sells the Ego brand. But what I really like about it, it takes the same battery on every tool they make. And then I end up getting the weed trimmer as the next tool. So and it's the same battery. And then I bought an electric lawnmower about 2 summers ago, and I just love that thing. It's nice and quiet. You put the battery in. The battery, my lawn takes like 15 minutes to mow. So, I mean, it lasts the whole time and then some, right?
So my husband, who gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning, can actually go out and mow his lawn without
for sure. And even use the chainsaw, because the chainsaw, you hear the chain kind of going, and then when you let go of the trigger, it's quiet. It's not idling like a gas one. It doesn't all those fumes and stuff. It's actually they're really nice tools.
Yeah.
So last year we've been in our home for over 20 years, and we made the decision that we wanted to do new landscaping in our front. So we pulled up everything, and then I didn't really know what I wanted to put in there. So I ended up going online and using the internet just to look to see what plants looked good together to match my siding. They're making fun of me when I said that. And then also how tall they get and how wide they get and how much room do they need in between. And I picked some things that had variety, that they did bloom in the spring, and then they changed color throughout the season. And then at the end of the year, they turned into a really pretty color for fall. So those are definitely ideas that you can look at. And I would have never even known what this was all about until I started researching that.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people back in the day that had gardening magazines or books, but now you just fire up your phone, your computer, and you can find anything from YouTube channels to Netflix shows and videos, apps on your phone. So to do all that, you're going to need a good internet connection. So if you're trying to get some gardening tips, your internet's not keeping up, you can always give us a call. That's what we're here to help out with, and maybe Jane can give you some gardening tips along the way.
I love gardening. In fact, some of the people that we service have gardening, and they brought in produce for us and some snacks. We definitely reap the benefits of it. So if you missed something today and you wanted to watch the whole episode, you can certainly watch it on the replay. So just go to Facebook or YouTube and search Vibrant Broadband. If you have any questions, you can certainly give us a call at 693-3231. Or if you want to go to our website, just go into vibrantbroadband.com. And once again, you can listen live every Wednesday on KLFD at 10:30 in the morning.
And we'd like to thank our audience for listening, and thank you, KLFD, for having us. My name is Shane,
I'm Jane.
And I'm Bo.
and that was another Vibrant You Live.
Brilliant speed with vibrant service. Vibrant broadband internet. Vibrant broadband internet.